Good morning. Happy Saturday. Thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Dustin. And boy, do I have a show for you today. A gentleman is going to be joining me who really needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway. His name's is James. James, Banana Fanafo Vames. Anyway, James is coming over here to talk. We're going to talk about all kinds of fun things. I hope you have a lot of questions lined up for us. But James is from Ready, Set, Keto. Let's go ahead and bring him over. He's a good friend of mine. And the idea to have him back on again came from a phone call we had about a week and a half ago or so. So let's bring him in. James.
You know, it's like being teleported in. I've always wanted to do that. If you could just do the blur effect and like bring me in like I've just been beamed in, that would be best.
if I had the technology.
I'm sure for $1 somewhere we can buy that skill.
Now if it just plugs into StreamYard. How are you, sir? Good morning.
Wonderful.
I'm glad you're here today.
I'd been better if it was 9 o'clock.
I asked you what time you wanted to do this.
Well, okay, so here's what I want. I do want to do this early because we have 2 really good flea markets close by. And it's not that I want to go inside the flea markets, like the regular vendors that's there, the more commercial stuff. I want to go outside to like the garage sale stuff today.
And is there a food component to this, James?
No, actually there kind of is, because probably as we speak, well, I seen the ribs sitting up on the counter. We went to Costco and we got 3 racks of baby back ribs that are going to go on the smoker today. So
I saw that they were on sale yesterday.
Yeah, they were $2.99, and I think sometimes you can get them $2.49. The $2.99 is all right. You know what I mean? We're not gonna. I always find that funny when people like fuss over like, oh, I drove on the other side of town, it was 8 cents cheaper for gas. It's like, yeah, but you spent 11 cents to get over there.
Well, I do drive out of my way to go to Costco to get gas, but I'm saving like sometimes 40 cents a gallon.
Oh, the thing about Costco is, I don't know if you know this or not, but when you're on keto, we did a vote and the samples don't count.
Yesterday at the samples, the only samples that looked appetizing to me were they were surprisingly low number of samples yesterday for a Friday. And the only thing that I actually picked up was they had some coffee. Some Copper Moon coffee, but they didn't have any actual sometimes they'll have half and half. Yes, they have like vanilla creamer.
I'm really bummed with Costco lately because like they don't have anybody on contract for pork rinds. I don't know.
They do have the new. I got to make a short this weekend. They do have the chicken chips, the queso chicken chips.
They do, and guess who else has them? We got like a bag and a half left. We had more, but Emily just chowed down on them.
I bought 4 bags.
Wasn't me. It was all Emily. 4 bags. Wow.
As she walks into the room and you're talking smash.
I think she's watching.
Well, that's okay.
No. Well, see, I don't have that up. I don't have the YouTube up because I have a couple monitors here, but the volume is controlled by both. So if I went to YouTube, I'd have to turn it down, and then I can't hear you.
Oh, you could just mute the YouTube.
Oh, see, I'm so old. Like, that's a thing. You
can mute the video on the YouTube page.
I know. I can't wait till our grandkids are old enough to come and be like, here, figure out how to mute this for me.
I already lived that dream with Chandra. I had to tell her to do. That's why we always get the exact same phone. But for some reason, her phone always does something weirder than mine does. So whatever.
Really.
So anyway, you called me the other day, and it was before our meetup, and we did just see each other last weekend in person, which was always a wonderful pleasure to be in the same room as you. And some of the same people here too. Charlie was there.
Yes.
And Uncle Big Guy was there.
How many's in? How many's watching?
Let's see. According to according to StreamYard, 14 across the two platforms. For some reason, Facebook didn't work. So
Well, let's just be quiet and awkward, stay there until 20 come in.
or then they'll have like 5 leave. But anyway, so before the meetup, you called me last week, and we had a nice conversation talking about some concerns, some frustrations
Yes.
that you are currently having, and I think that we've all had, and we all have from time to time, especially when we are playing around with our ways of eating. And you're saying that you were saying backstage that you don't want to be put into a box.
Don't want to be put in a box.
So would you care to kind of elaborate a little bit? But one thing I want to do before we go diving into that, just give me kind of a high level, quick rundown of when you two started keto all those years ago. What did the average day look like of eating for you? Because that'll give us that'll kind of give us a change of pace of what you're doing now.
Okay.
With a little bit of insight.
Okay, so the average day of eating back when we first started keto involved it was everything that said keto. It was the keto bread. Like one of our daily things is that one of the first things we did was we went out and we got us, well, we didn't have Blackstone money, but we did have char griller money. So we got us the big 36-inch char griller, which has still been fine because it's literally just a cast iron top, has been fine. We went and got that, and we started to cook meat, like lots and lots and lots of meat. We would actually like pretty much go through a whole loaf of like the Aunt Millie's carb bread on a daily basis. Butter, making like, toasting the buns, the bread on the Blackstone, then putting, bacon, egg, cheese, sandwiches. That was kind of our go-to. Like we look forward to them. It went from that, then I didn't have keto chow. I didn't have anything like that. I just knew that like, okay, I've went through the day. I'm doing 20 net carbs, right? I have 5 extra carbs. So even if I didn't have something keto, I just figured out how many carbs I had left and I just trimmed appropriately. If I had a 20 carb Snicker bar, then, or, wouldn't we all want a 20 carb Snicker bar?
I don't even know how many carbs are in them these days. I can't even remember.
I don't know. I think there's probably like 35 or 40 or something like that. But anyway, what I'm saying is like, if I had like a mini Snicker bar and it said it had 10 carbs, right? Then that meant before bed, I got half of it. And everything worked. Like the more I ate, the more the weight just fell off. I mean, it just fell off. And it was like the more fat I ate, the less fat I got. It was almost amazing. It's like, watch this. Let's just see how much bacon we can eat. There was like times it's like, do you think if I ate 8 pounds of bacon, I would lose more weight this week? Because everything I did, it worked. And it didn't matter how dirty I was. And then you start to hear, and that was like, and then the more I hear like Dr. Berry and, other people who are promoting like a clean keto, right? So then I went that way. And then I started like, oh, the bread's bad for you. When was it really? I don't know. I don't know. But we cleaned up our diet like tremendously and went like probably as clean as could be. But also during that time, we were having cheat meals. Like we would have a cheat meal every single week. Like between me and Emily and Noah, whoever lost the most weight got to pick the cheat meal. That's just the way it was. And it was fun. You know what I mean? It was a friendly competition and no one was starving. Like literally it was like the more you ate, the more you lost. That's how unhealthy we were. You know what I mean? Because it was probably really like, you can easily eat 6,000 or 7,000 calories of Little Debbie's a day and not realize it, and chips and things like that. But you eat 2,500 good calories of meat, it, and you're going to eat less even tomorrow. Because
like the other day, I posted a picture of me. I ate 2 pounds of 8 patties of frozen burger patties, cooked them, poured all the grease in the bowl, even had maybe about a tablespoon of butter in there as well. So that was about 2,700 calories. and I had posed the question, just kind of being a snide type of thing on Facebook. I was like, do you think this is heart healthy or not? Just to see what kind of, and obviously the people who are, that are in our community were like, it's great. And then the people were like, that seems dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, but just to talk about, like, that was a difficult thing to do, to eat that in one sitting. And that was just 2,600 calories.
Yeah, but I can go to Culver's, like, for real. I could go to Culver's and probably slam, 2,000 to 2,500 calories between, like, just a meal with like pretzel bites and all that stuff, right? Cheese, sauce, all that. And then probably slam 1,000-calorie ice cream. And put, I could probably do that now and then, start looking at, like, pizza start catching my eye about 5 at night.
Well, that's
I'm
the thing,
just
is like,
saying,
for
whereas,
me,
huh?
I was gonna say, but for me, yeah, I could put that away, but then I mean, and I know this is something you didn't touch on, but I would then feel like absolute trash.
Well, yeah. Then you're taking a nap.
Yeah.
When you're eating the carb stuff, you're taking a nap. When you're not eating the carb stuff, now you can go live your day. You got the food out of the way. Like, and then we started doing challenges, and I'm really, really, really not a fan of challenges. And the reason is because I feel like when I was doing regular keto, let's just say I'm losing 4 pounds a month on regular keto. Okay. I start doing challenges. I start, carnivore, BBB and E. Well, let's just say I lost 10 pounds this month, right? But then when I go back to keto, next month I ain't gonna lose anything. So it's just kind of like I'm back to where I was when I started.
All right. So we had a little bit of a glitch there. So say we lost you, like when you said, say you lose 4 pounds.
Say you lose 4 pounds on regular keto. And then you go in and you do BBB and E, or you do carnivore, hardcore for like a month. And then you drop, 8, 10 pounds that month. Well, when you go back to eating your normal thing that's not a challenge, now you don't lose anything that month. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, so then it really just all comes out in the wash. That's just.
But I think, and this is a discussion that I've had too. There's a lady that I've been following on Instagram as of late. She is, I can't think of her. I think it's like 499 pounds to something. She was like over 500 pounds. She just had bariatric surgery. Anyway, she's like 499 pounds, had bariatric surgery, and she's been posting her weight. And even like some days it'll go down a pound, some days she'll go up a pound. And you could tell, like, just by the post, that she's getting a little frustrated. One, I was like, you don't want to do that every day, because your body, I mean, I've fasted and gained weight. You know what I mean? So, like, there's always that. But I always try to tell people, when you're looking at a situation like that, it's going to be, the trend. And you've got to remember too, your body just went through some major trauma with a bariatric surgery. So you've got inflammation, you have all kinds of swelling, water retention, all kinds of things going on. So the fact that you're even going down a pound is just everything your body's going through right now is amazing. So I was just trying to make sure that I kind of want to know, I always kind of like make sure to think that we're not totally fixated on the scale, especially, and I know that we've had this discussion, you and myself and your wife, because I think we can get fixated on it. I haven't stepped on a scale in weeks, months, because, partly I don't want to know, but,
Yeah, I don't know. Well, after challenges and challenges, and then, I was losing weight. I got down to 197, and then I quit smoking, instantly popped 10 pounds. And, the rest is history. That was a year ago, and I've literally been trying to lose the same 10 pounds while finding some more.
So let's take a pause there. So you said you quit smoking a year ago. Let's take a minute there and celebrate that fact right there before we move forward and talk about anything else about weight. Because not having a cigarette for an entire year and you didn't pick up vaping or anything weird like that.
Okay, so actually I quit cigarettes like a month before vaping. So I actually switched over to vaping thinking that this was going to get me off of, which was actually ended up, I felt like it was actually worse.
Like, because people think that vaping is better for you, but in reality, it's just not a go. Yeah, I don't want to get down that rabbit hole.
I was even more addicted to the vaping than I ever was
because you could do it everywhere,
and it's more potent.
Yeah,
and everyone accepts it too. Like no one, like, ew, you know what I mean?
Mama Bear Lynette's here. She's giving us accolades. She says that we're both amazing men, and she admires both of us very much.
Lynette, can you message that to Emily? Let her know.
I know, right? Send it to my wife too.
So then here's okay. So here's where the mental thing gets in. Okay, so now you gain weight, right? And then you go on a cruise. So like I literally just gained a bunch of weight like a few weeks before the cruise, and it's like, oh my goodness, you know what I mean? Like, what am I going to do? I'm going on a cruise and I just gained weight. So then, we went on a cruise, and I'm proud to say that there was actually 3 days that we wasn't keto, over the 11 that we were gone on that between the cruise and the trip. So that was a win. But then when you get back, now things start to mess with you. It's like, okay, I did this and I'm not losing weight. Now I got some cruise weight on. I'm not losing weight, So now you start altering things where now you're not eating the fat anymore. Nope, pass the bacon, bring in the chicken. So now it brings up the other thing. Now you start to feel bad because now you're not getting the fat source. So basically, you just have to trust the system. And right now, I need to know that more than anybody. So
that's the one thing that I wanted to ask. So, okay, so if you were to not where you are currently with your current weight, your current size, how you feel when you're eating optimal keto for yourself or your optimal daily diet for yourself, legitimately, would you be okay to live out the rest of your life where you are now?
If you could guarantee me that I wouldn't gain any more weight,
I mean, we're always going to gain and lose and fluctuate. It's a matter of you're not going to gain 50 pounds. You're just going to be 5-10 pounds, lose 5-10 pounds. That just seems to be the nature of humanity.
Okay, so over this time, and we say we were going to make a video, which we still will make a video because this is important. There's been, between Emily's job change and always going out for like lunch meetings and things like that, she had a hard time finding things at like Olive Garden or when they go to Chinese places that was always keto, just in general. So then it kind of like, well, let's see what calories do. You know what I mean? Like, we're struggling. Let's, do calories. Well, calories can maintain or even lose a little bit if, when you're tracking everything, when you're getting on the scale every day and you're tracking everything you eat. I really don't like tracking. So, keto is for me, for real. I just need to eat less often during the day, I think, it's still my struggle. If I could just get rid of snacking and only eat, because in the beginning, I really took Dr. Berry's, advice to heart. Every time you eat, make it a meal. If you're not going to make it a meal, don't have it. Right. So, which led to me having I would eat like a pound of hamburger for lunch, and then I would come home at night. And because I ate the pound of hamburger for lunch, I really wasn't hungry. I probably could have even went that evening without eating, but it's food and I like it. But that eliminated the snacking. And I keep thinking in my mind, oh, well, I'm just going to bring a really small lunch. Well, that always promotes a really big snack when I come in before dinner. That's a t-shirt. Small lunch equals big snack.
You are a big snack, James. That needs to be on a shirt. I'm a big snack.
It does. It definitely needs to be on a shirt. everything's got to go back to basics. So, as soon as we start, going back and really making videos and not just doing lives, it's really going to be an absolute back to basics. And I think it needs to go like back to our basics. And if we include some keto bread, so be it.
I think about that. I think about because the way that I started keto obviously is a little different than others based on just the timing of when we started. So we started mid to late 2016. We didn't have the keto breads in the stores. We didn't have any keto branded items in the stores. We didn't have a lot. I mean, even like the idea of bread was cloud bread, just whipped eggs, like whipped eggs whites put in the oven. That's all we had. And so we were a lot cleaner then, just basically just because there wasn't any dirty options. I think that we had Quest bars. That was about the only option we had. And they weren't good. Everyone knows that.
I
They've
love the
gotten
Quest
better
chips.
over time.
I love the Quest chips.
The Quest chips, yes, but those have just been out with the last 2 years or so, 3 years.
Most of them bars, them keto bars, I'm really just not, I could literally just do with like 3 M&Ms. 3 M&Ms would give me like almost 2 carbs and just avoid that whole situation and a lot of money saved.
But there, you don't buy just a bag of 3 M&Ms, so there's that. But and that's the problem for me. But I think I was drinking, so I drink a coffee like this every day, this size. So it's a 32 ounce cup. Because you were talking about how much fat you were taking in. The more fat you took in, the more weight you were losing. I was putting 165 grams of fat every day into my coffee. So it was about a half a stick of butter and 6 to 8 tablespoons of coconut oil. And at the time, I was buying coconut oil, a good brand off of Amazon for like $17 a gallon.
A gallon.
And a gallon, I would probably have 2 gallons at a time in the house, and they would last me a month or two each, right? Or give or take. And so I was doing that every day. So it was 1,100 calories in just fat in my coffee. And I would wait till I got to work to drink it. And, I was over 400 pounds, and then I was losing weight, steadily losing weight. I was eating a lot cleaner. We were eating more meat, more veggies, a lot. I was trying a lot of weird recipes, trying to do the whole thing, Yeah. So I've tried to go back to doing the fat in the coffee. And I even just putting butter in my coffee. And I just don't know if that much fat is going to, I don't think it works the same for me anymore.
But have you stopped? Like when the weight loss kind of stopped or slowed down, or if you went off or whatever, when you went back, did you go back to doing it again? Or did you kind of did our stupid logic get in the way and say, let's eat chicken breast?
Well, I'm never going to eat chicken breast because that stuff is. We always go with chicken thighs over breasts any day. But that's an argument for another day. But well, yeah, I don't know. And probably my stupid logic gets in the way. And the idea that going back and eating the way that we did back then wouldn't be impossible. But I think these days there's too much noise, too much distraction in our lives to go back and be as clean as we were, because we didn't even keto chow wasn't really a thing in our mind yet. I mean, we didn't know anything about it. There was nothing was a thing. We were just food. So I don't know.
Well, so what we learned during the calorie thing is that, yes, we can maintain and not lose, which was kind of a big thing, because it's like, you like to think that eventually at some point in your life, you can say, okay, look, I've got a busy couple weeks ahead of me, or it's Christmas time and I got 8 birthday parties and some office Christmas and this and this. I can do this. I can be off plan and I can do this and be an adult for a couple weeks before things get back to normal, right? And that's fine. And we've been able to do, all right in just a few weeks of just watching, right? But then, so what happens is that keto is so easy and it's so simple that you're literally cooking like 2 ingredients or whatever, or you're making something, putting it on the smoker and coming back 6 hours later and pulling it off. Like, that's how easy keto is. Well, when you try to cook healthy or still do like whole foods, you know what I mean? Like, not garbage, even if you're cooking anything that you make, it calls for 20 different ingredients. You have stuff everywhere. You got dishes, pots and pans. And it's like, yeah, this is so then it's easy to say, okay, well, we're going to go out and eat healthy. Right? Just grab meals on the go because we're busy and this and that. Well, next thing you know, everything hurts. Your face is puffy, your knees hurt again, and it's all because of the oils that you swore to never have. Now you're getting them more than like a once a week or something, and you're spending more money. It's actually, I can tell you that eating healthy, what the world says is healthy, off keto, is way more expensive than eating keto, because keto, you're going to eat more. It's just more expensive. You're going to eat at home more. You're going to have leftovers. You're going to meal prep for the week and always have something.
That's a discussion that we had yesterday with our son-in-law. We were dropping off our granddaughter, and he's complaining about his allergies.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, since we've been keto, I haven't had any real issues with my allergies. And I know that this is an N=1 thing here, because I know that certain people who have been keto for a long time probably still struggle with allergies, this, that, and the other. But I was pretty bad off when it came to how much medication I was taking for allergies, and I've been able to not take any. Like, the only time I've taken Benadryl since we've been keto and I've weaned myself off of it is I got something got on me or something, like my hands broke out and they were real itchy, and I had to take Benadryl for that. But that wasn't that was an allergy of something that I got into. That wasn't something that I put into me, as far as I know, right? That was a one-off situation, but that's the only time I've taken Benadryl in the last 8 years. And he's like, well, we can't afford to do that right now. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you drink 2 full sugar Monsters every day. Switch to sugar-free Monsters every day. I mean, that's one step right there.
Or,
you know what I mean?
Or, Aldi, if you're watching.
Aldi, if you're watching.
Aldi has these sugar-free, the Red Thunders, they're sugar-free, right? They're like literally, if you haven't had a Red Bull for any amount of days, this tastes, as far as I know, it tastes pretty daggone close. And they're $3.99 for a 4-pack. That's $1 a day versus,
$3 a day.
I used to have a Monster addiction, and it was more than that. It was always like 2 for $4, 2 for $4.50. Hit the gas station every day. Well, the problem with that is, no, that's not the problem with that. Is you walk in the gas station to get your 2 Monsters a day or whatever for work or whatnot, and the next thing you know, you're walking out with a Slim Jim, and now it's $10 a day.
Yeah. Well, that was a funny thing. As a female friend of mine on Facebook the other day was saying something like, I try to walk into the gas station and I can't walk in without some guy trying to, to hit on me. And I was like, you know what? I've never gone to the gas station to get a soda, pay for my gas, and pick up a girlfriend. You know what I mean? It's just never been like the reason I've gone to the gas station.
Yes.
I used to go to the gas station all the time to pick up cigarettes when I smoked. But now I hardly ever go to the gas station, and especially even now that the Speedway, because we got a Speedway gas station a block from our house, and they don't even have Coke Zero anymore for some reason. So I definitely don't go with. I mean, you could buy it in the bottles, but the fountain, those 89-cent fountains in the summer, no.
All right, since I don't talk to Aldi, Speedway, if you're listening, clean your bathroom. Clean your bathroom. Like, I love Speedway.
If you're watching, be more like Buc-ee's.
Yes, they got clean bathrooms and they sell artwork. Next time I go into Speedway, I definitely want artwork in the bathroom, not just pee all over the floor. But seriously, like, all honesty, how am I even still alive? I used to go into the gas station, get a pack of cigarettes, get energy drinks. So I'm killing my lungs, killing my heart, like everything all at one time. I'm still here. That tells you how resilient and how good God is.
I mean, yeah, that's like, I quit smoking. Let's see, I quit smoking like June 5th, 2010. So we're coming up on 14 years for me. So after a while, you don't really think about it anymore.
Oh, I
And I'm
didn't
sure
think
that for like, I still will have dreams even now where I'm smoking a cigarette in my dream. And in my dream, I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I haven't had a cigarette in so long. Now I'm starting over.
Did it taste nasty?
I mean, I don't, not in my dream, but like I went like last week or a week and a half ago or whatever. I went into, maybe I mentioned this to you at the meetup, but I went to this bar to go watch a food challenge from some YouTubers. And we were sitting outside for the food challenge, and I went inside to go to the bathroom, and I walked in, and so this bar is outside of city limits, and there's a guy at the bar just smoking, and the smell was like, I don't know. There's something about cigarette smoke in a bar that just smells amazing. And like, and you know, for the longest time, I've always gone to in-city bars, and they haven't had smoking in in-city bars since like 2009, maybe.
Well, Ohio is smoke-free statewide, so it don't matter if you're in the city or out of the city, or
well, at least Indianapolis, the city of Indianapolis is smoke-free. But then the surrounding counties and municipalities all get to govern themselves with that. So it's like, I mean, one, I don't go to the bar very often at all, unless like one of the last times I went to a bar was to visit a girl my brother was dating because he wanted to introduce us and we were going to hang out, play some pool or whatever. I mean, I go to bars to see concerts and stuff, but I don't know. Anyway, getting off topic at hand, but
you could just meet her at Speedway.
Huh? Yeah, I could have met her at Speedway. Just, hey girl, how you doing?
I'm not going to Speedway later. You want to go?
But anyway, back to what I was telling the son-in-law. I was like, I mean, just the idea that making small changes that don't cost you anything, just like the idea, like if you're going to drink Monster energy drinks every day, they do have now, he likes the original green Monster. They finally have the sugar-free version. And I like that one, and I buy that and keep it in the house. I shouldn't, but I do. But that's just one little thing you can do to start changing the amount of sugar you're taking in.
One little thing, yeah.
I mean, they're eating a lot of pasta and stuff because it's cheap.
Yes. That means they're not, you're cheap means, protein is probably like you're still probably paying per pound or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, of course, the things that's cheap, there's no protein in that. There's no things that you need. It's a filler. It's kind of like ramen. It's a filler. Like, you won't go to bed hungry, but you're going to be more hungry tomorrow because you're lacking the nutrients. So then you have more noodles, and then you have that kind of thing. Then you throw in some cream pies, and all along, all you ever wanted really was some protein. Your body's still craving something.
You're stuffed and starving to death.
Yeah, and full as can be. It's just nothing that your body can.
And you're miserable. You don't even realize how miserable you are. You don't realize, like, he's always like, so he can't even mow their grass because he's allergic to grass.
Yes.
Like EpiPen allergic to grass, which I don't understand. Like, that's like signs and like the aliens coming down and they're allergic to water, but yet they can hang out in our atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't make any sense to me.
It's not just fresh cut grass. It's like just grass.
Allegedly. So he doesn't mow their grass. He didn't mow our grass when they lived here. It's just like, okay.
If I was that allergic to grass, I would be in like Arizona. I'd have to. I'd be where there's no grass.
But, I've just like the little things, like, I mean, you maintain, and I think, I'm at a spot now where I'm not really gaining weight. I'm not losing weight, but I'm not where I want to be. So, Shannon and I, a daily discussion for us is what can we do differently? What can we do? What can we, what are we, because Shannon is, especially since we started, she hasn't really gained or lost any weight. Like the scale hasn't changed for her in 8 years. Outside of maybe 10 pounds.
Well, that's good.
Now you can look at photos of her and see a major difference, but the scale's never changed. And so she gets frustrated with that. And I don't know what to tell her. And we've talked about, I mean, I know what she needs to do. And it's one of the things that I found out early on, because I went in and was just listening and consuming as much content as I could when we started, and she was having all these issues. So she's cold all the time. She's, tired no matter how much sleep she gets. There's just a lot of like little symptoms, and they all add up to something that Amy Berger talked about on a podcast 6 years ago that I told her was like to go and get, and it's even easier now because you don't even need your doctor to sign off on it. You can go to like Own Your Labs or whatever and have a full panel run, pay $200 for an entire panel of labs, and then send it off to, Own My Labs or whatever you want to do, Dave Feldman or any of one of the people that have that, and find out what's going on. Take that to your doctor and be like, well, this is what's going on and this is what I want to fix, but she just won't do it. And you would think that she would because she's a nurse, but she won't.
Well, I'm cold a lot after losing, the 100 pounds. It was like I lost a coat, but I also.
She wears sweatshirts in the summer.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that in the mornings.
No, this is when we go out in the afternoon. Like our neighbor said something the other day. Like you're wearing a sweatshirt.
Yeah, it's time to move to Florida, Dustin.
I don't want to deal with Florida. That's the problem. If I can move to Florida and it not be Florida,
well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there's some bonuses about Florida, but there's some real downsides to Florida.
Yeah, I think they got cockroaches down there like as big as me.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big problem.
Charlie has something here that I want to kind of look at here. So Charlie is saying, I struggle with the phrase cheat meal sometimes because cheating normally implies taking a shortcut to reach a goal.
Well,
and I think that, and I kind of agree with him because I've always looked for an alternative. So for me, I don't like calling it a cheat meal. I will usually call it a cheat meal because then everybody knows what I'm talking about. And if I make up my own, if I start involving my own, vernacular, in the thing or, whatever. Like to me, it's just, I'm eating what I want when I want. The only thing that's changed is what I want, when I want, and why. But my desire to eat what I want is still like, I'm going to eat what I want, when I want, for the reasons that I want. It just so happens that the content of what I'm eating and why I want and when I want changed. And I know that there are people out there that do get upset with the idea of cheat meals. I've never cheated, and since I've been on keto, like 19 years, I haven't cheated. Okay, liar. And I mean, and I say that loosely, but I know that because the law of large numbers is there are people out there who haven't. But again, the law of large numbers is most of the people who say that they haven't have, but maybe they don't realize that they have, type thing. Does that make sense?
Well, it depends what you call a cheat meal.
Right.
Is it your cheat? Is it a cheat meal if you have a 20 carb? If it still fits in your macros, to me, if it still fits under your carbs, that's not cheating. I don't care if it's something that's classified as keto or not. You know what I mean? Like I just like one of the things Joe says, there's no such thing as keto food. There's just keto friendly. That's all there is. So if I have a bite of pie and it's 15 carbs for one bite of pie, that's not cheating. I had a bite of pie, and not only that, but I don't really think I need to tell anybody about it. As long as I didn't now if I had 10 pieces of pie, I might need to have a support group.
Well, the thing is so last night I was talking with Cindy. We were on a live last night, and I was telling her that on Fridays, when I pick the granddaughter up from preschool, we go. If she's been good the whole week, we go to her choice, McDonald's, Culver's, whatever the case is, and get her what she wants. And then recently she's been wanting to go to Culver's. And the only thing she gets is a French fry. She gets like a small kid's fry. She gets a single, whatever would be like a single dip thing of custard, vanilla, no toppings. because she's 5 and doesn't want anything like that. She dips her French fries in the ice cream because I told her to one day. I was like, you should try doing it. She goes, what, you want me to throw up? I'm like, no. Why would I tell you to do? Now she's like, she tried to get, Shander went with us yesterday. She tried to get Shander to try it. She goes, it's good. I don't throw up.
Yeah, you don't throw up.
But she feeds me the little pieces of fry that she doesn't like. Now, I could be strict and refuse to eat those, but I'm looking at that as time spent with her. And you know what? Maybe 4 whole fries once a week is, I mean, it's fried in bad oil. Yep. It's a French fries potato. Yep. But the benefit to me of having her give me those and her being like, see, you're going to eat what I don't like. You're helping me. And spending that time with her outweighs the negative. Even if she has dipped a little bit of it in ice cream or whatever.
Okay, so those are people talking, you know, the off-plan meal, and then SD Bradley just said the planned diversion. So, okay, so would you consider a cheat meal, right? Let's say we're going to meet for pizza, and me and you are going to split a pizza, Dustin, right? Like we're planning this.
Yeah.
Is that a cheat meal? I mean, it's definitely off-plan.
It's definitely off-plan.
But it's not.
But like, I mean, but if you're planning it, isn't it planned?
I'm just saying it, you know, you do that twice a month or even just once a month. I personally feel as long as it don't go over twice a month, like 2 meals a month, that could be beneficial. At least for my family, that kind of thing is beneficial because when you're on keto for years, it might not be good in your first month or 2 months, right? You know, you got to kind of get them under your belt and get rolling and know how you feel. But I feel like people who do the hardcore like BBB&E for so long that when they, you know, when they taste a bite of pizza crust and their eyes cross and they're in, you know, Wonderland, I feel that that's bad things are coming for the next month.
And I feel the same way because I kind of look at like, I look at it like this. There was a video, and I can't remember her name, but she's a bigger YouTuber in our space that is kind of outside of our community. And she had posted a video maybe a couple of years ago now that I saw. And she was standing in a kitchen with her sister-in-law, and she's trying to be strict keto, and her sister-in-law comes in, pulls a cake out of the fridge, sits the cake on the counter, pulls the top off the cake, takes a bite of the cake, puts it in her mouth, sits there and goes, puts the lid on the cake, puts it back in the fridge and walks away. And she goes, wait, how can you just take one bite? Because I can't just take one bite. I have to have the whole thing. And she goes, you're thinking about it all wrong. If you come at this like I'm never going to have this again, then every time you come across something that you're never going to have again, you're going to eat it like you're never going to have it again. But Correct. If you think about something like birthday cake,
yes,
there's somebody's birthday a few times a year, depending on the size of your family. Some people have birthdays twice a month in their family, just depending on how big your family is, cousins, nieces, nephews, and how involved in your family you are. There's an opportunity there for birthday cake as much as you want. Or if you work in an office, there's almost always a celebration cake of some flavor. This lady's anniversary, that guy's anniversary, whatever. There's always cake. So the opportunity to have cake is almost always there. So if you look at the cake as I just want a bite of that cake, and I know that in 2 weeks there's going to be another birthday and I can have another bite of cake, versus, you know what, I'm going to be strict keto. I'm going to do BB&E for a year and I'm not going to have cake again. So I'm going to eat 5 slices of cake. Do you see what I try to live my life like this because it keeps me on track better, because I can look at something and go, I know for my birthday, I'm probably going to go and get something that I've been thinking about for a while. I don't know what that is currently. My birthday is not till the end of June, towards the end of June. But in June we have Chandra's birthday, we have my birthday, we have one of my cousins' birthday, we have my stepdaughter's birthday. There's a lot of birthdays in June.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of opportunity for cake, metaphorically speaking. Whether or not we have cake at our birthday is a whole other thing. It might be pizza, whatever. But I think that, and you're absolutely right, I don't think that people should be looking at this when they're first starting. We went a year, give or take, before we had anything kind of like a cheat type thing. Maybe 6 months to a year, depending. My timelines are a little off in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, at that time, again, we'd finally found some kind of like coconut ice cream that was no sugar added. And we had like a little dip of it with some whipped cream and a little bit of sugar-free sauce on it. And we're like, oh my God, this is so good. It was like the best tasting thing I'd had in so long, even though it wasn't that great. But, hindsight.
So
Yeah.
the reason I think it's important of how long you do it also is that I noticed that in the first couple weeks, one meal can easily just kick you right out of ketosis. Whereas, you're 6 months in and you're going, you're chugging along, you might be able to eat off plan for 2 full days and still body not even recognizing them carbs. You know what I mean? Because it just gets so used to burning fat. But you can feel when you come out. So it's kind of like, for someone new, you'd have to get in ketosis and get solid and stick with it for quite a while to get your body to just start ignoring them carbs as they come in.
And we're getting a couple of people here talking about like the idea, and I'm not the idea that sugar addiction's harder than others. Like alcohol, I can have one drink a month, no problem, but one bite of one cookie leads me to carb binge that lasts for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Charlie here. Part of me felt like if I could have an off-plan meal, it'd feel good afterwards, not deprived, but it never materialized that way. It's like trying to love processed food that did not love me back. Scott saying, that is Platte River Keto is Scott, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. That is Scott.
I try to keep everybody's name straight, but sometimes my brain goes, I don't think I'm right. Anyway, issue every time I want to have it all. And I struggle myself with wanting to have it all. Like I can't have a slice of pizza unless there's only a slice of pizza.
There's options. We have places here in the Dayton area that has like their crust is like a cracker. It's so, like you could literally have a few pieces of pizza and not be over your daily limit of carbs. It's just that thin. There are options. We like to, do a little bit of dirty keto. And what we'd like to do is, it's been a thing of late, we take the carb balance, right? At least it says low carb. We know it's not, but at least it says that.
Yeah, I mean, the packaging is nice.
Yeah, and we take like 2 pieces of string cheese, right? And we rip them in half and we put them in like 4 corners. So we roll it and it ends up being a square with it's like stuffed crust. And then we put a little bit of pasta, marinara in it and cheese and either sausage, bacon, or pepperoni. And we have like a personal size pizza and we love them.
I mean, I do the upside down pizzas where you start with the pepperoni, then the cheese, and you may put a tortilla on top, or maybe not. Just let the cheese melt, then you flip it and let the cheese on the bottom get crispy or whatever. I do that stuff all the time. Like, I mean, I get that flavor of pizza and such, and that does help keep me. I mean, because I'm not going to order pizza, and I mean, we are lucky enough to have Rockstar Pizza in our basically in our neighborhood. I mean, it's like in our town, and we can go and we can get a keto pizza, or we can get keto breadsticks. Or like we went the other day, they had 4 soups, 3 of which were keto friendly.
Really?
Yeah, they had. Do what now?
I've never been there. We have rapid fire here, but there's nothing.
I've been trying to get you guys to come to town and eat there with me.
I know. It's just we were just in town.
I know. And they've got a full salad bar. I know how you love salad, weirdo. But
Maybe you should have a meetup at Rockstar Pizza.
I've thought about it.
Maybe you should. You know,
I
it don't have
need to
be.
talk to the owner and see how, like, what I would need to cap the attendance at.
You
I've
don't
had
need-
one of the first keto little meetups I ever did was at Rockstar Pizza when they first started selling rocks. Before I did YouTube, this was basically just people that I followed on Instagram that happened to live in. People drove like an hour. Most people drove a half hour, 45 minutes, all from Indiana just to get there. And we all sat and had like a table, got a picture. It's on Instagram somewhere. I don't even know if any of those people are still keto or not. Like I said, that was pre-YouTube for me. That was when Rockstar Pizza only did it on Saturdays. They only could sell their keto pizza on Saturdays from like 4 to 9 because they couldn't make enough crust.
Yeah, I think more meetups need to happen. I've been saying this, and we still haven't had one. But more meetups need to happen. More meetups with less planning. You know what I mean? We don't have to give gifts. We are the gifts to each other. You know what I mean? We just want to be with each other, really. Come on down. We just want to hang out and be with each other. We don't need gifts. We don't need prize bags. We don't have to have, and you know what I mean? And it don't have to involve people cooking for days. Just be there. I'm going to scoot over and let her sit down.
Come hang out with us.
I am. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go to the bathroom really quick while she's here. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I've been listening in.
How are you doing, dear?
Good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm glad to see you.
I'm glad to see you.
It's been a whole week.
Look at my new mug. Let me show you.
Let's see it. What's on it?
Have you seen the lazy egg?
Here, let me see if let me make you bigger. Hold on.
Don't do that. We don't want to be bigger, Dustin.
Hold on. I got to remember how to do this.
You just eat carbs.
There we go. It's gorgeous.
I don't even watch it. I tried watching it. I guess it's a cartoon, but it's a lazy egg. How cute is it? So whenever I see it, I like to get them, the stuff. Don't watch the show, but I like the stuff. So
I feel that.
Yeah, I've been listening in, making hard-boiled eggs and getting ribs ready for the smoker.
Well, that's so sweet.
I didn't do a very good job. I couldn't get the membrane off the ribs, so they're just sitting up there.
Did you use a fork?
Yes, and we bought them at Costco, and normally Costco ribs, they're just easy, but no. I'm having a hard time. I don't know.
But coffee.
I know,
So
right?
good.
So, yeah.
So tell me about you. So kind of but you understand what we're talking about. We're talking about how we're doing, where we feel we are. How do you feel currently, and what are you looking to do as far as the day-to-day? Because James has talked. I kind of want to hear your perspective.
Okay. My perspective is I've been listening to you guys, and I do feel like the struggle can be real. I do feel like all of us are different. I do feel like there's a lot of hate out there, and I don't mean anybody like directed at me or us, any of you, like you. There's just mean people out there, trolls, that I feel like attack different channels, different people who are in channels and chats, whatnot. And I have been where I just want to do what makes me feel best and not care, essentially not care what other people think. So I'm kind of at a spot where I'm trying really, really, really hard not to make the scale the focus for me. Even though it's frustrating and easy to get on the scale and get frustrated. But when I kind of look back and I think, okay, it's been a year, maybe over a year now. And yes, I'm up a little bit as far as the scale. I'm up like 15 pounds from my goal. but it's 15 pounds. And I kind of feel like that in itself should be a victory. If that makes sense, that I
Yeah.
haven't
And this is
gained
the
all my
question
weight
that I
back.
asked. And the question that I asked James,
Uh-huh.
if you were to stay exactly where you are right now, living your life where you are weight-wise, size-wise, how your clothes fit, would you be satisfied?
With the fluctuation, yes. Yes, I would. So it's a mental thing, right? It's just getting your mind where I'm happy with where I'm at and sticking to that and not getting on the scale and saying, "Oh, this is stupid." Because it's the scale ultimately that always makes me have the mind games where it's like maybe I need to do something different or whatever, but I will always go back, and I've told you and I've told James, I've told anybody I talk to, I always go back because mentally, no matter what, even if I said I'm done, I don't ever want to eat this way, I wouldn't be able to say that because my ears with not having tubes in my ears and not having any ear infections in years now, which has never been a thing for me in my life until eating this way. So
And we all have those non-weight related victories or
mhm.
benefits that we've had that we weren't expecting to be benefits.
Yep.
Like the idea that you have, because my brother grew up and he had tubes in his ears the entire, like his whole life
Yep.
until until they fell out when he was 12 or something like that, whatever. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Um,
typically kids get that and they come out and you're good and whatever, but I was still getting tubes in my ears in my 30s. So
And then she got them tied.
it's a
But-
solid plan.
yeah.
Mm.
But yeah,
I think
I
about that.
ultimately, yes, I would say scale set aside, fluctuating 10 pounds. I'm frustrated right now because like my jeans just are tighter than I want them to be, which I know what I got to do, and I don't want to exercise more.
We know what we got to do. We're just really not willing to do it, Dustin.
I think that's really what it comes down to. Like, I had posted a thing on Facebook the other day, and
Yeah.
a friend of mine was talking about, well, I don't want to do this. She didn't call it a fad. She called it, I can't think of the word she used, but it wasn't fad, but it was in the line of fad diet. I don't want to do this trendy diet. And, she said last year her A1C was like 5 point something to 5 point something. And now this year she's on metformin and doing this stuff. And now her A1C is like 6.2, but she's okay with what the doctor's telling her and living a common sense food approach. And I was like, okay, I'm always here for you. But inside I'm screaming my head off going, that isn't
Yeah.
normal. The doctor should be making you better, not worse. The advice
Right.
the doctor
Right.
gives you should make you better, not worse.
Yeah.
So think of this. One of the things that, like we just said, we know, right? What we need to do. When you first, I remember how bad I felt. And I remember within the first 2 weeks, not falling asleep all the time on the couch,
Mhm.
which promoted me getting up and moving and moving and
And
moving,
doing
right?
more.
Well, so like you have this newfound energy and you're doing stuff, right? Well, eventually your diet can stay the same, but you start falling back into that body habit.
Yeah.
So even though you feel better, you're not being active any longer. That could be a big part of why people struggle in maintenance.
Mm-hmm. I struggle more because I tend to allow myself more. I noticed when I got to my goal weight, I did allow myself more. Like protein bars are a struggle for me because I love them.
Protein bars are bad.
and they're horrible for me. Absolutely horrible for
No
me.
one needs to eat 200 grams of protein a day or something in the form of meat and then be like, I need this chocolatey peanut butter protein bar.
Well,
Yeah.
I had this conversation with our middle child yesterday, the day before. He was talking about he supplements and takes a protein powder because he could take 2 scoops and it's like 60 grams of protein. And I was like, just eat meat. And he goes, I can't afford to. Meat's more expensive than the protein powder.
I feel like the protein powder is expensive.
I mean, okay, so I was a little disheartened. Anyone who knows me knows that my favorite hamburger is at Costco. It's the 8812, the fresh, That went up to $4.39 a pound now.
Yeah.
It was $3.99, and then it went from $3.99 to like $4.19. It like jumped like 20 cents once, and then it's like every time I go back, there's 10 more cents.
But
I'm still
going
to buy it.
10 cents if you buy it in the 10-pound tube.
Well,
yeah,
and you know what? That's not a bad idea because
we probably should.
Because that just means that I would eat out of 1 container for a week instead of 2.
Yeah.
But you just have to ask them. You just say, hey, do you have any 10-pound tubes? And when they sell them to you, they're 10 cents a pound cheaper.
Yeah.
That's a Costco life hack for you people. You are welcome.
Yeah.
Now, subscribe.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I think anything that you want to do, if you want to do it bad enough, you're going to make the effort and put the effort into it. And it can be very, very disheartening when you're trying what you think is the best that you can do and you're not seeing the results that you're looking for, whether it's scale or non-scale.
And this is why maintenance is hard. We hit maintenance, right? Oh, hit our goal. Done. That walking, yep, so long walking. Hello, couch.
Well, I don't think there's ever a maintenance. I think there's just, you never stop.
No.
You never stop until you're gone, right? But now one thing that I want to ask, and this is just a thought that popped into my head. So
yeah,
before you were keto, before you were on any kind of diet or whatever, I imagine there was dieting in there somewhere.
Right.
It never ended.
But when you weren't thinking about dieting, when you weren't thinking about Weight Watchers or calorie counting, did you think about the scale at all when you were eating whatever you wanted?
Yes.
You did?
I did. I've always had a problem with my weight, and I always struggled, and I was always good at dieting, and then I would lose like 10, 15 pounds, and I'd be like, woohoo. And then
we're done.
Yeah. And then some kind of a binge would follow up, and then I would gain the weight, and I'd be like, this is stupid. Obviously.
Before dieting, before keto, I thought the dryer was the enemy. I was like, I go out and I buy all these nice clothes and they fit and then I put them in the dryer and they stop. It's like, this is crap.
An American diet steals your socks.
Yeah. Always. But yeah, I would agree with that. I thought maintenance would be so much easier than it is.
Charlie
said, it plays mind games is all it does.
Charlie said, you've lost a lot of weight, reached your goal. Here's a treat as a reward.
Right.
I agree with that, but I also agree with more of all I got to do is eat this way forever. Whereas the exercise stops, looking forward to the, I remember I would look forward to physical work.
Yeah.
Like sweating. And I would joke with Emily. I'd be like, yep, I'm going to lose 3 more pounds this week because I'm out here sweating my butt off.
Yeah.
Now I don't do that anymore. It's like, can't somebody else go do it?
Because you got to figure we're probably, and I know that this has kind of been a generational thing. And I know that there's probably been, I know it started in the 40s, 50s, where they were talking about weight loss and such, even though as a society, we weren't big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the people living in that day and age would look at us now and go, what the hell happened?
Right.
But you got to think there's always been articles about housewives and there was a wine and egg diet or something like that, like a martini and egg diet or something where they'd have so many eggs a day, but then they would drink martinis or whatever it is. But I think, I wonder how much diet culture has come into play. Like, and when diet culture started. Because I don't look at what we are and what we do as a diet culture. I think this is a lifestyle shift. Now, some of us do play when that lifestyle starts to creep back the other way, and the pounds start to creep on, or our clothes get tight. Then we will look and we'd have to readjust what we're doing and all that. And I think we have a better grasp on how to handle that. But
well,
I
not
wonder,
even. Yeah. It's not even just that. I mean, people say, "Oh, a diet," but a diet it's what we eat, right? That's our daily diet, is what we're eating every day. So to shift that definition of the word diet back to what it actually means is, instead of old way of thinking of I need to lose weight, I need to diet and lose weight.
Well, that also just goes to tell you what the additives in our food has done to us, because I guarantee you, as a population, everyone didn't get fat because of, in the 50s. Well, there are a lot more desk jobs now.
Yep.
But the food
this is
also
interesting
a
here.
lot different.
Rick says it's been around a long time. Remember the ad, reach for a Lucky instead of a sweet. That's some terrifying stuff.
I've actually seen and heard documentaries and stuff on cigarettes. There was like a time that all of a sudden, when like people realized that like smoking is bad for you.
Yeah.
there was a time when like everybody did it and no one thought anything of it until people started missing.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just the whole thing. It's just the whole lifestyle thing for me. I feel like moving forward, it's just, well, not even just moving forward, but over the past couple of years, it's been like quitting smoking, both of us quitting smoking. That is a health victory in itself. Changing the way that we look at food, looking at ingredients. I eat fruit. Some people are like, "Oh my God, I can't believe anybody would eat fruit." I eat fruit.
In the Bible, it tells you to eat honey.
So, I mean, there's just different things that I feel like if I'm looking at ingredients and the way that I eat is protein based, and my clothes fit tighter than I want them to right now. So I'll probably reel in some things and do less veggies, less fruit or whatnot, or track more.
Emily's like, I gotta cut out the blackberries and eat more bacon.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But the whole thing is just a health lifestyle, getting more movement in, getting more exercise in, getting better sleep, try to have less stress. It's all so much.
And here, Charlie's asking about energy levels. How are your guys' energy levels?
I would say all right. I don't have a lack of energy. I usually don't really sit down a whole lot.
I was waiting to see what he would say, because he is such a busybody, and old him would literally like go to work, come home, eat a big like carby meal, and sit on the couch and fall asleep. Whereas last night he was, he tweaked his back.
I definitely did.
2 days ago at work, and he's playing softball. He's on a softball team, and he was supposed to play in a game last night, and he's like, I don't think I can do it. Like, I tweaked my back for real. And so last night he's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna paint the garage. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You tweaked your back. He's like, I gotta keep moving.
It's one of them things that when you sit down for too long, you stiffen up and it gets bad. But like, and she's like, yeah, swinging the bat would probably hurt your back. And I was like, no, actually, it's not going to be the swinging of the back. It's going to be the running, because I'm having a hard time standing up straight.
And one thing here, so Evelyn has a thing that I want to talk about as well. So she's asking, do you think they will ever realize sugar is bad for them? But one of the funny things is all the advertisers and all the lawyers and attorneys that were helping out the cigarette companies were then moved over to sugar.
I believe that.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, they've paid Harvard to say that sugar is not the issue, fat's the issue. So we're going against very compelling marketing. We're going against, it's like you're going against cigarettes. People, I'm never going to stop smoking. Smoking's good for you. It's better than eating sweet treats. Now, sugar is the same thing. You can't get people. How often have you had people come to you and go, "What are you guys doing? You guys are looking wonderful." And then you tell them, "Well, I couldn't give up bread.
Yes.
I could never give up this.
Yeah,
I could never do what you're doing."
And it's never chocolate either. It's always bread. They always say, "Well, I can't." It's the thoughts of having that hamburger without the bun.
And that is a difficult transition, because one of the biggest things that I remember when we started is when you go and you make dinner and you put it on the plate just looks empty. I mean, you got a meat and maybe a little bit of veggie, but there's no big pile of macaroni and cheese. There's no
a visual thing.
It is a very big visual thing. So I just started making the steaks bigger.
Yeah.
It's a way to do it. I mean,
and
my thing would be to put olives and such on my plate.
I love olives.
Using olives and pickles. But
don't you love it when you see something that says made with 100% pure cane sugar? Like that makes it better.
Yeah.
I remember buying the soda because of it. I remember buying Pepsi when they first reintroduced the cane sugar into Pepsi and Mountain Dew. I remember that's gonna and it does have a different taste to it. And I still think it's funny with what they call the Mexican Cokes.
Yeah.
Because they're supposedly made with natural cane sugar. But I think they've done studies and they don't have cane sugar in them anymore. They're high fructose corn syrup just the same. But people don't realize that, so they buy them. They just come in glass bottles.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not even just that, but even when you're eating like a low carb or ketogenic diet, it's easy also to go overboard with the non-sugar keto sweets or treats as well, because like an example, which I'm sure like Chalk Zero. If I buy Chalk Zero, I am one of those people who can buy it, let it sit and not touch it. James, not so much. See, yep.
I wouldn't bother that.
But I mean, it's sugar, yes, but you can definitely overdo it with the keto treats.
I eat the whole bag. I have 2 more bags because when I went on to order some Chalk Zero the other day, those were like $3 a bag. So I ordered 5 bags. Was that smart? Did I do it?
Yep.
But see,
I do the same thing. I mean, I'm guilty sometimes too of doing.
I'll eat several pieces of a keto. To me, when something is keto friendly, that means I can have as many as I want, and that makes it not good for me.
So it just depends. I mean, a big part of any way that you eat, any lifestyle that you're in, is being self-aware of what triggers you might have. So
Cindy says that one of the most powerful books she's read since starting keto is The Case Against Sugar by Gary Taubes. It's an eye-opener. Cigarettes have sugar in them.
I believe that.
If anybody has any way to get in touch with Gary Taubes, for some reason, I've reached out to him. He follows me on Twitter. He only follows like 200 people. Usually when somebody like that follows you, they follow everybody, but he doesn't for some reason. But I want to get him on. I want to get him on a Saturday morning talk.
That's probably why he don't respond. What is it? Like, I think this guy wants to get me on a Saturday morning, 8 o'clock.
So if you guys have Twitter, go and just say, "Hey," put a good word in for me. I'd appreciate it. And
talk to Dustin.
Yeah, just like I told Gormy today. So Gormy was posting about being at the cruise. So all the people who were here are not on the cruise, as we probably know.
Yeah.
Because the cruise, I think, boarded this morning or last night or something.
I think yesterday.
Yeah. So all the people on the cruise, and I was like, hey, if you get a chance to meet Joe and Rachel, do it. They're awesome. Because I can't remember who else is on the cruise. He's like, well, I've met him a few times. So I was like, well, that's awesome. Gormy's another person I want to get on here. I want to get him on. He's got his own podcast with hundreds of episodes. It's called The Fat Guy Forum or the Fat Guy Podcast, the Fat Guy Forum Podcast.
Yeah.
I have to have a marker.
What are you writing down?
Well, I didn't realize this, that on the side of the Costco water, it's got a spot for your name.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Let me.
And you had to write James.
Well, it has it's still plastic, so I think I need a marker, but I didn't realize that it had a name tag on it.
Squirrel.
I'm glad you've been paying attention when I talk.
I know.
I was listening. I was definitely listening. I was looking at my water, and I was like, you know what? Crap, my other drink's gone, so now I got to drink water.
Cindy,
here's a question for you. How is Derek?
You know what? I just asked him Friday because I know that we've had a lot of discussions about weight fluctuation and gaining, and Derek is very he does not get bored with eating the same thing every day
at the same time
every day. A schedule of but he does like he allows himself something off plan, essentially, I guess, like every other week or whatever, like whatever. But so I had asked him, I said, Derek, you haven't normally we would do our weigh-in Saturdays, right? And I'd be like, Derek, how much do you weigh? How much are you down? Whatever. But since we've stopped doing weigh-in Saturdays, we haven't really discussed our weights with him. And so I asked him Friday, I said, Derek, are you still the same weight, or are you up, or where are you at as far as the scale goes? And he said he fluctuates between 220 and 230.
And 220 is his goal.
220 was his goal. So he fluctuates about 10 pounds. Derek is about 6'2". And if you don't know, he started at 459 pounds. So yeah, he's kind of been up 10 pounds and kind of fluctuating between that 220 and 230, but still eats almost the same exact thing every day.
Now, outside of weight, does he talk about other things that he likes? Does he talk about things that keep him motivated?
No.
He
talks about football.
He does. It's kind of like pulling teeth to get information from him because he is so quiet. Like, he is the most introverted, quiet person ever. And I can tell because like he gets season tickets for the Bengals, right? And just like we had gone to a game with him, and like it's a huge difference being 459 pounds versus 220 pounds sitting in those small seats.
Yeah, those seats are not designed for 400 plus pound people.
Right.
No.
And the walk from the parking garage to the stadium. I mean, old Derek, we would drop him off. But I mean, you kind of laugh, but we would drop him off closer to the stadium because it was such a long walk, and it's hard on your body when you're at that weight, in all honesty. And he'll walk, and he doesn't talk about it, but you can see the difference, taking those walks from the parking garage to the stadium, or just sitting, at the game. And
that is when we got on a plane, or when we go on vacations or something like that, we get on a plane, or when I go, and I don't ride many rides, and when I go and get on a roller coaster, right, I actually fear the ride now, not just wondering if my seatbelt's going to fit and I'm going to be embarrassed and kicked off in front of everybody. Because that's a real thing.
Yeah. It's yeah.
Anyone who's had a weight problem.
I remember going to a football game pre-keto. It was I went to 2 football games that season. It was the first season that Andrew Luck played for the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to his first home preseason game. And then I went to his first home regular season game. And we probably walked like 2 miles, 3 miles just to get to the stadium. And I remember walking to the stadium and we had cheap seats. I think we had seats like the preseason tickets. I think whoever had them, because you usually buy someone's used tickets, and we bought used tickets from somebody like, or their season tickets that they didn't want to go to a preseason game. I think we paid $6 a ticket,
Mm-hmm.
and it was up one side, and we walked all the way up, and we've got a new stadium, and it's huge. It's a monster stadium. And I remember getting up there, and I think I was winded till halftime.
Right.
Like, I didn't even want to go down the stairs to go to the bathroom. I just held it because I was like, once I go down, I'm not coming back up. It was just so much.
100%. Yeah.
So, and it's fascinating because I think someone like Derek, if you could get him to come on, something like this and talk about his experience, how he's simplified it. He doesn't put any stress into his diet. He doesn't pay attention to us. He doesn't pay attention to our community. He doesn't care.
He doesn't do
He
any
doesn't look at the
products.
science. He just does it and goes about his day.
Yep.
And you know what? Derek also, so he's a stalker at Walmart, so he gets exercise at night, and he also, he doesn't really plan ahead. We're sitting here thinking of everything we need for the week, whereas Derek just brings in a different component of his meal, every day, frozen hamburger patties today, or they'll last him for a couple of days, and then he gets another. You know what I mean? He's not
chicken thighs.
He's not stocking up. Everything is fresh and new.
Yeah, but he works at a grocery store, so he literally
that's one thing that always drove me nuts. My brother worked at Walmart for 15 years, but he wouldn't shop at Walmart. He'd call me. He'd be at Kroger. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, you can walk as you're leaving, walk by, grab the milk, the whatever, and go get,
right.
You know what I mean? Whatever it is.
Yep.
I think he gets a discount too. I don't know what all he gets a discount on, but
I don't think there's a discount on food, at least not in Indiana. I think there is a few, around Christmas time. I think there's a discount on food.
Yeah, he did have some kind of, I think he gets the Great Value brand. He gets some kind of a discount.
That's fine, because weirdly enough, a lot of the stuff that I buy from Walmart is the Great Value brand, because it's usually cleaner than the national brand, which is strange to me. If you look at the ingredients of Johnsonville brats versus the Walmart brats,
right?
I don't think they're Great Value brats anymore. I think they've got a different name now, like Hometown or something like that.
Yeah,
I think. I can't remember.
I don't know.
Something. But they're cleaner ingredients. They don't list maltodextrin. I mean, they might still be in there.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, that's one thing that I found shopping. But I mean, I haven't looked at their ingredients in a while. It could have changed, and they do change from time to time. But,
Yeah.
Can we get fireworks on Dustin's? There we go. Boom.
That's because you guys have a Mac.
Yeah. Yeah.
Evelyn has a question. Let's look at it.
Okay.
What are you?
Let's see. What are you going to name your water?
I was going to just name it James. It was going to be James. I just, speaking of Walmart, if you're watching, we got your.
You can become Walmart affiliates.
Really?
Yeah, it's the same as Amazon, but you don't get. They have to buy actual products. They can't buy food.
Mm.
Yeah.
You don't get any kickback on the food, only the products, like the hard goods.
I'm so into Amazon that I just never really think about going on Walmart and looking and ordering from them like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
You need to get your money's worth out of those $12 beers. Recycle that beer back into cup. What beer?
I think it's the stadium.
Oh, I never bought drink. I would get like a diet soda maybe, but I don't even think they carry Coke Zero, so I wouldn't have got anything.
I love Coke
is
Zero
it bad
too,
that I'm
Justin.
thinking that $12 might? I don't know how much they are now, but I feel like there might be even more than that.
Oh yeah.
That's like even when I was like going to like big festivals like Ozfest and Lollapalooza and all that stuff in my early years. I never bought beer because it was always like
stupid
your
expensive.
day budget for one beer. I could get like 4 Sprites, and I'm there like in 90-degree weather wearing black Jinkos all day. You know, like
talk about wrong. Have something out in an empty field where there's not even a tree. In the middle of summer, and then charge like $8 for a bottle of water. Like,
well, the one thing that I always liked about Ozfest is they would have like by the second stage, at least in our date, there was always a water tanker truck that would pull in, and they would have like it would be like little paper cups about this big, but you could stand there and just pound water, and it was cool because it was a big tanker, so even if it sat in the sun all day, it was still cold.
Yeah.
So that was always a plus, so we never really worried about that. We would just have to venture back over to the second stage to get water when we were thirsty. And maybe buy a Sprite back in the day. We'd buy the big 32-ounce Sprite or whatever. But I never bought food there because it was always expensive. I didn't need guitar-shaped French fries.
Huh. Hey, if you shape French fries like in the form of cow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm just going to answer that no.
Is that keto friendly?
No.
It's only keto friendly when your toddler's feeding them to you.
Oh.
She's like, I don't like the crispy ones, Pa. And I'm like, I can't.
Eat them. I was listening to you talk about that, and I would totally do that too because Reptar, like,
his name is Reptar.
I love
as he
Reptar.
Gets older. Yeah, I could totally see myself doing that. Like, I'm not gonna tell a toddler no with something like that,
Sometimes when she tries to put her fingers in my mouth, I'm like, no.
Yeah, no.
Hey, so
there are some things like she'll try to get me to eat that I don't want, or like I eat so many of those little clementine things because I will peel them because every once in a while she's like, Pa, I want tiny oranges. I'll buy the Costco size bag of tiny oranges. Eat one, and I hate those. I'm never eating them again. Well, then I'm stuck eating clementines. Because I don't want them to go bad. I don't want to waste $6.
That's so funny. Yeah, we call him Reptar.
I love that. That's probably the coolest thing I've heard all week.
And ice cream is carnivore because it's milk.
Is it
cream? It's definitely cream. It's definitely carnivore. It meets all the criteria.
Yeah, I love me some ice cream.
Meatloaf's carnivore too. All just depends your perspective.
Oh my darling, oh my darling.
You know what?
Darling Clementine. That's a sad song if you actually read the lyrics.
I don't think I have.
I don't think I have either.
I just knew the Huckleberry Hound sang it.
Yeah.
It's about a little girl drowning in a river.
That is something else I needed to do, speaking of ice cream.
You want to drown someone in the river?
No. You were talking about the ice cream thing, and now I'm thinking, we bought heavy cream yesterday at Costco because A, it's cheaper at Costco, and B, Keto Chow ice cream.
Yeah, we need that, I guess.
That's something else.
I always got to have a couple of them just ready, just in case. The biggest enemy to keto, anyone watching who just started any of these, the biggest enemy to keto and staying on track is not being planned. Just to wake up today and go out and have a full day of not being home and getting caught out, and all of a sudden that hunger kicks in right next to a waffle fry stand.
Yeah, but as long as you have your go-tos, like our go-tos if we're out, like Wendy's, Jimmy John's. Like, you know what I mean? You got to have your
Have you
go-tos.
gone and have you ever got the T-Rex burger, James, from Wendy's?
No.
No, we usually just do the triples.
I think that we actually look for that, and I don't think that they offered it here.
Yeah, I think we tried to order it, and they said, we don't know what that is. But that was
They know
one
what it
location.
is. They're just being mean.
Yeah.
There's also something at like Arby's too that I've never.
Yeah.
Oh,
been
it's
able to-
like the Meat Mountain or something like that.
Yeah,
That's real because our middle kid worked at Arby's for a while, and I asked him about it.
but I think it comes out. It's kind of like a McRib kind of thing. Like they have it like once in a while.
Yeah. Ugh.
What? McRib? Speaking of McRib, we're having ribs tonight. I just went up when I went up there and got gum.
Yeah, so Charlie says, "Here's my daughter says fruit snacks are healthy because it has fruit." Our granddaughter the other day was trying to get Shander to eat fruit, and she goes, "Ma, I don't want you to be fat. Eat this fruit." She's like, "Fruit's healthy. I don't want you to be fat, Ma. Eat this fruit."
Oh.
Me personally, I'm not a doctor. I don't think that fruit really is healthy. I mean, it's got vitamin C in it, but
Well, the problem is
we didn't have access to this much fruit
Yeah.
in human during most of human history.
yeah, you
You
really got to
couldn't go to Walmart and buy 14 pounds of apples anytime you wanted to. Like my great grandma talks about for Christmas, her and her brother
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, I think her and her sister would get an apple and an orange for Christmas.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I
But
think the orange was probably the bigger thing, but they grew up in, there's apple trees in the Midwest and they grew up in Kentucky. So they had to be apple trees, right? So apples they probably had to have, but getting an apple in the winter time is the thing, right?
yeah.
Back in, she was born in 1912. She was born the same month and same year as the Titanic sank.
Mm.
Hmm.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it's
And
just they're so
I used to
different.
think the same thing here. I used to think the same thing that Pop-Tarts were healthy. I would keep Pop-Tarts in my desk at work and like the cheese cracker things, like the little package of like 6 cheese crackers.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
were
would
definitely
I
healthy.
was like, I need to eat all the time to keep my metabolism up so I can lose weight.
Yeah, them were definitely healthy.
oatmeal, cereals,
Yeah, granola bars.
granola bars, definitely all healthy.
Oh yeah, and like them Nutri-Grain bars. I hated them things. I hated them 90-calorie bars or whatever. But you know what? I was like, oh, this is my breakfast. I got a Nutri-Grain. I'm like healthy. I remember just trying to be on a diet, like literally every day. Every day I tried to be on a diet, and every day it would succeed through breakfast, lunch. I'd come home, tear the house down, and then try to pretend that I didn't have anything when Emily came home to make pasta. I'd be like, look, I'm only having like this normal little serving of pasta, and like not saying that I ate an entire bag of tortilla chips with salsa.
Darth Carnivore said, my daughter says fruit snacks are healthy because it has fruit.
Healthy because it has fruit.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Yep.
Like, I remember, let me see. So, like Carnation instant breakfast. That was like supposed to be a breakfast. It was supposed to be like 6 or 8 ounces of milk mixed in, and you drink it, and you would be hungrier.
Yeah.
Like how is no.
Yeah.
Like breakfast food always made me hungry. Cereal made me hungrier. Like you can't eat a normal serving of cereal. It's this much.
Right.
Look, when I was younger,
I loved cereal.
I literally thought if it didn't have meat, it was healthy, no matter what it was.
I know.
Because when I was like in high school, like cholesterol was a huge thing. I graduated in 95. I remember people talking about, how much they would literally look on the back of the label and see how much cholesterol was in something. And then you start realizing like, well, cholesterol is an animal-based thing. So if you don't have, like hash browns is all right. Just eat as many hash browns as you want. Just don't get the muffin.
Yeah.
The McMuffin, just go get the hash browns.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of how, like, depending on where you're at in life, like that's what
there's just so much false information out there.
We were told to limit meat. We was never told to limit breads.
Yeah.
And I think that still resonates today. Like, I mean,
Oh
that
my
even resonates. The
God.
cholesterol thing resonates in pop culture too. I remember like one of the lines, and you guys have seen Christmas Vacation, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And there's a line where there's a squirrel running in the house, and he's like,
Yeah.
where's Eddie? Doesn't he normally eat these things? He goes, and the wife goes, well, not since he read that they're high in cholesterol.
Right.
So, I mean, and even though that's a joke, it still resonates. And even things like I've been watching Yellowstone. And one of the most infuriating things that I've seen on this show is they're cattle ranchers in Montana. And they're talking about, he's had, this health problems, and he's just now been cleared to eat steak again. And the daughter's like, if I have to eat another steak, I'm going to have a coronary. And all these things I'm like, you're literally cattle ranchers. You would think that cattle ranchers would at least know, or at least think that meat, steak, and hamburger is healthy for you.
Yeah.
Or good for the environment. There was so many environmental things about them and their ranch, and they're the epitome of a regenerative farming ranch, but they've got like 70,000 acres of land or whatever in Montana. And, so they're the epitome of a regenerative. They move the cattle from pasture to pasture, which is what a regenerative farm is. They're only eating grass. They're raising grass-fed cattle. And there's still like the idea that it's not healthy or good for the environment. And I'm like, you're literally a show about a rancher, and you're still perpetuating that myth. Like, how is that a thing? And it's so infuriating.
So you can tell what kind of people the writers are.
Yeah, real ranchers don't care about that. Like, they know that it's all crap. They're eating their steaks. Pig farmers are eating ham and bacon.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Rick says bread is duck food. Actually, that's not true. That's really bad for ducks.
I know. I'm reading some of these, and I'm thinking, the low-fat yogurts definitely was something that I used to go to.
Any yogurt's disgusting.
Yeah.
You never went to TCBY, Dustin?
Well, frozen yogurt's different. That's ice cream.
That's not ice cream.
It doesn't have that yogurt, that nasty yogurt sour twang to it.
Yeah.
Dustin, that's
definitely
that's not ice cream. That's healthy yogurt.
If you're putting gummy bears on it,
right?
And yes, chocolate chips or whatever.
Improper duck diet for sure.
Yeah. I don't know how, especially like moldy bread. You feed moldy bread. That's got to be terrible for them. They're like exploding on the inside.
Right.
Or just like you're not supposed to throw rice at weddings anymore because it kills birds.
I mean, think about it. If it's bad for the animals, don't you think it's bad for us? Well, I mean,
I think so. Why can't they eat bread? Well, what are you supposed to feed them?
Maybe it gets stuck to the roof of their mouths.
What do you feed them?
What do you feed ducks?
Yes. What's the healthy thing to go to the pond and feed a duck?
Fish.
Fish. I like fish.
You think ducks eat fish? Is that what they eat?
Yeah, they eat fish. What do you think they're digging underwater for?
Wonder how often do you all eat fish? Emily and Noah love fish. I eat fish, like I'll eat it out of a can.
Oh, I do eat sardines when I think about it. I've got like 20 cans in the pantry. I eat it more when I think about it. And there's a whole thing like right now going on with like Luna, Courtney Luna is her name, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing like a sardine fast thing. But for me, really, we eat fish as often as salmon is on sale. We'll get salmon when it's on sale, and we'll eat like 5 pounds.
Yeah.
We'll get nauseatingly full on salmon.
I smoked some salmon, like a week ago, I think.
How big was that paper?
Yeah, I thought you quit.
But I put some mayo on the salmon, and then I crushed pecans and put it on top, and then put it on the smoker, and that was really good. Yes, it was the Chosen Foods mayo. crushed pecans, and that's it. And it was delicious. Put it on the smoker.
I did buy a can of mixed nuts this week. Mixed, it was almonds, cashews, and pecans.
Yum.
I got it from Walmart because sometimes I try not to keep that stuff in the house because it's so easy just to snack on it all day.
Uh-huh.
Like when Costco was carrying that keto snack mix, that ranch flavored snack mix that they had for a while.
Mhm.
It was like $12 or $13-$14 a bag.
Yeah.
Because I would pour it, I would just dump it into the bag like a solo cup and just eat it out of a solo cup. And it was like so much. I was like, I know I was eating like 4 or 5 servings. But so I try not to keep that kind of stuff in the house. But sometimes I just have I need cashews. And I get a mix because if you eat straight cashews, that's way too many carbs.
Yeah, I can't even buy them, I feel like, unless they're in the individual bags or if we immediately put them in.
And pistachios are even worse.
Yeah.
If there's pistachios in the house, I'm on a mission.
There's just snacks in general, I think, for him. There's just certain things for me, like nuts, and I can't buy any kind of protein bar.
Anyone going to Costco, have you had the mixed nut butter?
Yeah, I think I have a jar of it still the first time I bought it.
Have you tried it yet?
Oh, yeah. I don't remember. I tried it years ago. It's years old if I haven't thrown it away.
All right. So everyone has different taste. Robin last week at the Indie meetup
from Two Queens Go Keto.
Yeah, she was telling us about how good it was.
Which normally Robin and I have very similar taste in things. So usually if she likes something or I like something, like we can recommend things and be on point. So she recommended this mixed nut butter.
Uh-huh.
So I was at Costco and I sent her a picture. I'm like, is this the right stuff? And she said, yes. So I bought it.
And I was excited because I love
not fans. I am taking it by the tone of the story.
I returned it yesterday.
You can return stuff? I mean, I guess at Costco you can.
You can return anything.
Anything they have that,
if you don't like it, return it, and there's no no questions.
All right, so normally we would not return things, but okay, you see this pack of gum? We bought an 18-pack 2 weeks ago, right? Or something like that, a week or two ago. And it only had 12 packs in it. Like when we opened it, like it has 3 different flavors where there was only 2 in there. Like there was one whole flavor that wasn't. And we was going to take it back and didn't. But then this nut butter stuff was just bad. Like it was like
chai seeds in it and cashew.
You would think that it would be good. It would be like peanut butter, but just with mixed nuts. But it didn't have that taste or flavor at all. It was not what I wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we took it back, and they do take everything back. What's funny is if you read up on Costco, you could literally
buy a couch. Keep the receipt.
They say there's people who staple the receipt underneath or inside the couch so that 5 years from now they can take the couch back.
Well, if you have your app, you have all the receipts you've ever had. So you just take your app and show them the receipt from whatever.
Yeah, that's true too. But you can literally buy a couch and return it 5 years later,
and they just buy a new couch.
Cannot tell you no, supposedly.
As long as you have the receipt, they have 100% return policy. It doesn't matter when it is. So yeah, 5 years from now, you can break this couch and take it back and be like, yeah, it's bad. And they'll give you the money back and you can walk out with a new couch.
Yeah.
Not saying that's right, but it's funny, like when you read up on things, the things
when
that people,
they say that, yeah,
like the things they've seen.
Just start taking the rotisserie chicken back and just the carcass.
Right. Yeah. I didn't like this.
Yeah, this sucked.
So Rick is saying he never understood the need for snacks.
That's because everybody's different, Rick. I'm not a huge snacker. I like to have a plate of food. James likes snacks. He would rather snack all day than have a meal, a solid plate of food.
I think, and I think there's a precedent for diet culture here, and like what we've been taught over our, over the many years that we've been alive, because we come from, think about like when we were in school, we started with like the food pyramid, the 4 food groups, the My
Yeah.
Plate. Things have changed.
They
And it's
have.
always been, you've got to have a snack. There's always snack.
100-calorie
That
snacks.
becomes ingrained in your brain. And that's like the low fat thing. Like that's such a
Yeah.
hard thing to break. That meat's bad for you. That's so hard to break.
Yeah,
Now,
it is.
snacking is hard to break because snacks are delicious. And you
Right.
can have bacon as a snack, cheese as a snack.
Yeah.
So while I understand that snacking is not the optimal way to live, but I mean, even think about like
Yeah, but
you
to
hear
say you
things
don't
of-
understand the need for snacks, I mean, we're all different. That's why you're not going to understand it if it's not a problem that you have. I mean,
Charlie said snacks help fuel metabolism between meals, right?
yes,
Truth of the matter is, the reason why I snack so much is because I'm always thinking that I need to eat less. So I'm taking less food for lunch or breakfast. And when I come home, I realize that I've made a fatal error and I'm starving.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then you did have parents that would say snacks would spoil your dinner or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm always been the thing that I was never not going to eat.
Yeah.
Unless I was severely ill, you could give me all the snacks and I would still eat my dinner, provided the dinner. I think that's something that your parents would tell you if they were going to give you something they knew you didn't like.
Yeah, right.
We're going to give you boiled broccoli. Or a boiled Brussels sprouts.
Right.
Here, you're going to have here's your liver and onions and your 9.
Yeah. Yeah, no. That's the whole thing. Like, we can easily say, okay, this is easy for me and I shouldn't do this, or I shouldn't do that, or this is easy for me not to do this, or this is easy for me to do this. When in reality, every one of us are different, and every one of us are going to have different things that we are good at doing and we're not good at doing. And we're all going to have different things that work for us that might not work for somebody else. And the whole journey is learning what works best for each one of us as an individual, not as the people.
Like, I'm like one of the biggest mouthpieces for keto there is, right?
Right.
I mean, obviously, sitting here talking about this, but I don't like mayonnaise.
Yeah.
How un-keto is that? I'm surprised I haven't revoked my keto card.
Right.
Mayo is gross. I don't like deviled eggs. I don't like tuna salad. I don't like chicken salad. I don't like. The only salad I've ever liked was like pasta salad, but that was with not with mayo, but with like Italian dressing, chicken and pasta. And
You didn't like potato salad?
Huh?
You didn't like potato or egg salad?
No. I tried potato salad once, and the texture was so bad. And I just like pasta salad. Like I don't like baked beans. I don't like all those like staples of like picnics and get-togethers.
Memorial Day foods, yeah.
Mm-mm.
We've been on a while today, Dustin, and I just noticed that your title of this is "Where do we go from here?" So I guess we should start the show.
Well, that's what I started with in the beginning. Where do we go from here?
Well, kind of, yeah. It's just one of them things that, like, I can slowly start to see people trying to take keto out of their names and out of,
Yeah.
And we've seen that. Like, we've seen, like, Autumn, who runs one of the best keto conferences ever.
She does.
She's going to hopefully continue doing that.
I know.
But she's not even really talking about keto on her stuff anymore. It's not about food for her. She's looking to do finance. I've seen Headbangers Kitchen's taking the keto out of his stuff. He had a live stream the other day and I didn't get a chance to watch it. I saw like why he's not keto anymore and why he's not a fan of keto anymore, which I do need to get him on here to talk about that. I think that would be interesting to kind of get his perspective on that. I think, there's Sammy, like where Sammy goes keto or something like that. And she's now whatever her name is her channel name. I've seen lots of people.
the thing with the health, the summit, the
Well, Hack Your Health.
Hack Your Health. Thank you.
Yeah, by Keto Con is now it's Hack Your
Yeah.
Health by Keto Con.
Mhm.
But you know, with us, I don't know, Dustin, you could probably just take the keto out of your name and you would just put Dustin Simple.
I would need a helmet.
You would definitely get more views than you do now if you wore a helmet.
Right.
I'm just saying,
I
especially
think-
if you had it strapped tight, definitely.
Yeah, it's just I feel like a lot of people, it's just the whole label thing where your ultimate goal is to be healthier, right? And to live a healthier lifestyle and be able to do more things and get on the ground with your grandbabies and be able to get back up when you do that. And
Reptar's name is Reptar, and no matter what, we don't know if we're always going to be Ready Set Keto or if we're going to be just RSK. I mean, the K is it's just endless. It could be Cook.
Be kind.
Yeah, Ready Set Kind.
Yeah, it's just we need to be encouragers of each other. We really, really do, and just encourage and love on each other, and that's the bottom line, I think.
But we don't always want to talk about food, but it's still Ready Set Keto is still who we are. You know what I mean? And we are mostly keto. I mean, that's just.
Yeah, Mary T just said it wonderfully, and it's the truth. It's just, yeah.
What we found is that it's hard sometimes to move forward if you're always looking backwards.
Yeah.
And so that's why a lot of times we don't want to talk about it, but we still want to live it in front of you. You know what I mean? We still want to live it for people to see and see what we eat and things like that. We just don't want to talk about it. It's kind of, it's kind of like the monkey in the room, the elephant in the room, I guess. Is it the monkey or the elephant?
And that's valid, right? It's valid because to you, it seems to have run your course. And I think depending on the type of channel that you want to have, because there is enough viewership for everybody that you can carve out your own path, right? And so my idea of what I want to do with my channel is I want to continue having these discussions because there's going to be plenty of people to have them with. And how you feel today is not going to be how you feel in 6 months, 2 years from now. So we can continue having these discussions.
Yeah.
And I think the more we can have these discussions, or at least as far as I can have these discussions, hopefully the more people out there who don't know they need to have or see these discussions.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for me is like, it's more of an outreach program. It's more of being a beacon for the people who don't even know they need it. Because I didn't know I needed it till I finally realized that I needed it. Right.
Yeah.
We lie to ourselves.
Yes.
We deceive ourselves. I mean, it's no secret when you get to be 400 plus pounds that you're buying 50-inch pants. You're buying 5XL t-shirts. You're doing all this. You can barely breathe while you're tying your shoes, or you have to have something to help you tie your shoes, or, you not able to use your downstairs bathroom anymore. And these are all telltale signs that something's got to change, but it still takes time. It still takes that final straw to go, okay, I need to make a change. You would think me not being able to use our downstairs bathroom would have been the thing, but it wasn't.
But there's always going to be something where something happens and a seed gets planted in your brain and you're like, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to make the changes. And sometimes you need to get involved and you need accountability. Sometimes you're afraid of that because you don't want to fail in front of other people. It's scary. Sometimes you're on the journey and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're not seeing the results, and that can be disheartening. Sometimes you're in the journey and it doesn't look like you thought it might look like, but there's other people who might be dealing with the same thing that you're dealing with and needs to hear it. So we don't want to feel alone, right? In any aspect of our life.
I just thought of something.
Like anything, anything that we do, it sucks when you feel like you're the only person going through something
I just
and
thought
not
of a
having
name
enough.
for the
Shut
summer.
it.
For the summer.
It sucks to have a feeling that you're alone in something, and that's really hard no matter what it is, whether it's the way you're eating or I'm being completely serious
I'm here.
right now. But it's really rough to feel that way in any aspect, whether it's the way you're eating, your diet, or whatever your struggle might be. It's really hard. So it's important to have community, to have other people say, you know what, I've gone through this too, and you're going to be okay. You know, so it's important. All of this is important, is my point, because we need each other. We need to know that we're not alone. No matter where we're at, we're not alone.
Community?
Yes.
I was thinking we could do a whole cooking series for the summer with the smoker, and we could be ready, set, barbecue.
Yeah, barbecue.
Ready, set, kielbasa?
Yeah.
Ready, set, barbecue.
Yes.
How's that going to be searchable?
Right.
How are you going to optimize that?
Barbecue.
Yeah. Yeah. But in all seriousness, and I'm sure James and you, Dustin, I'm sure you guys agree that the friendships that we have found in this community have been top notch.
Ready, set, quack. You got to spell that with a K. It's KQUACK.
Because if you said it like that, it's going to be like you just don't know what you're talking about. You're just a quack.
Yeah, it's definitely got to have a K in it. It's ready, set, community.
You just can't be serious, can you?
I am serious. Absolutely serious.
Serious keto?
That's what you're from. No, not serious keto. That's a dumb name. Who would watch a channel like that?
Stop. Joking.
300,000 subscribers would watch that.
That's why I said that.
I know.
Like,
Some people might think you're serious, though.
Super serious.
Always. I am always super serious.
Yeah. But even if you're doing this with your spouse, like Dustin, like even if you're doing this with Chandra, like you can still feel really alone, like in where you're at. So.
And that's why he's here now, because she's at work.
That's true.
Yep. And we love you.
He was alone until 8:00.
Cindy Quack, KWAK. Keto
right.
with a kick.
Keto with a kick. So we love the RSK thing. You know, that's our identity. And, you know, we think about changing it.
I don't want to.
And it might change week to week. You just never know. But it'll always be ready, set, and it'll always be, you know.
Whatever.
Yeah.
RSK.
Yep. Barbecue.
Barbecue. So yeah, there's that. Dustin, can you tell that I've been in a much better headspace?
Yes.
I am so thankful for that.
She's wearing overalls.
I am wearing overalls.
She's ready to go out and ready to
get
go
an undo one like it's 1995, 1994.
Oh yeah, 90s. That's right.
She's ready to go out and milk the pigs.
Although I don't think I would have wore them back then, so I should, right? I'm wearing my granny shirt. It says granny on there.
That crisscross will make it jump.
Yeah.
Cindy wants to know if I'm ready to go bowling. I'm ready.
I want to go bowling sometime. I want to take the girl bowling. I think she'd like it.
And get her they have the little dinosaur thing.
You know, I don't really
ramp.
like calling my wife Granny.
Yeah.
I still have a problem with the calling my wife Granny.
It's kind of changed over to Granny.
I call Chandra Ma all the time because
yeah.
I don't know.
It'll change. What it's going to be is what Reptar actually decides to call you.
Yeah,
that's because it doesn't matter
true.
what you want to be called. Because we didn't know. We talked about it endlessly until our little squishy was like Ma, Pa, which is great, but they rhyme. So every day it's Ma, and I'm like, yeah. She goes, I said Ma, not Pa. Okay. and then the other way around all the time.
I get it. I get it.
You know, Noah, sometimes like when he's talking to me, I'll hear him say, Dad, Dad, or something, and I'm talking, and then he'll be like, James. And there's something about that. That gets my attention real quick. I'm like, don't you call me that.
How is he doing, by the way? I
He's
need a Noah update.
lots of video games.
Yeah.
His last day of school was yesterday. And he's looking forward to a summer of, I think this is going to be the summer of Noah. I think Noah's going to go on an improved health journey.
We had a big discussion with him.
I think Noah is going to, well, first off, he'll be doing marching band stuff. So that's exercise. And I think that I might have to get back into Noah's at the age now where he can actually go under my membership to like Planet Fitness. You have to be 13. He was never able, he never had an option.
Yeah.
So while that probably won't happen in the summer, I definitely think once it starts getting dark at 5 o'clock, that needs to happen for a few months, in the wintertime. Because there's just so little options of, what to do.
Yeah. Andy.
If one of the moderators would put a link to that information for us so everybody knows.
June 29th.
June 29th in Eaton, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that pen? Give me that pen.
It's right here. Here, you can write it on my water bottle.
No, it don't work.
Oh. Yeah, there needs to be a lot more community. And just, if people's worried like, oh, planning. Well, it don't take much planning to go to a restaurant, realize that, hey, there's a banquet room in the back.
Right.
And say, let's just do it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We don't have to organize. We don't have to get with vendors. We don't have to do anything. We just say, hey, in 2 weeks, we're going to meet here. We'll be here. Anyone want to join? Come see us.
Well, there's a couple actually in Ohio because they're having one on June 29th. And there's another one in the low carb events in Columbus. I think that's in June as well at the Brazilian Steakhouse. So,
wow, I like that.
Yeah.
I like Brazilian Steakhouse.
I know.
We are going to one for Keto Palooza.
Yes, we are. And I just invited us.
Okay, so Dustin. You get to a point where the keto becomes part of you, right? Like,
yes.
As much as I sit here and I can sit and say, I'm still going to have a tortilla chip now and then. I'm still going to go to a Mexican restaurant at times and not be perfect, right? Because of my health benefits, because of my blood work, because of my cholesterol, because of how I feel, because of the energy level I have, keto is always going to be my safe space. There might be a week or two of Christmas where all the parties and all the things where you feel a little bit of ashamed and you don't want to get on and talk about food because you're struggling. But we're still ready to say keto. Like, even if we switch and we never speak about food, that's still a part of our lives and it probably always will be. So whether we don't talk about it, that doesn't mean that we're not keto, right?
And keto is really like a state of ketosis. It's not like, I'm just going to call it what it is. It's low carb, essentially. Like we just eat a high protein, low carb.
We just choose to get our energy from fat instead of carbs.
Yeah.
Here's a question here. So how important is constant ketosis? I think consistent ketosis is probably more beneficial than constant. I don't think most of us are constantly in ketosis regardless. I would probably argue, and I am not a doctor or a healthcare professional or even versed in what I'm about to say, but I would look at, you look at the idea of being a carb burner, constant carb burner, and then trying to shift into ketosis, how much of a struggle that can be. Think about the idea of being in ketosis so long that introducing a good amount of glucose just screws your body up. I don't think that that's good either, right? I think we are metabolically flexible in the fact that we're designed to run on both.
Mhm.
Now, and there's the argument on which one is the argument is ketones or being in ketosis is the more efficient. And I would tend to agree with that. But again, I am not Harvard educated or any, even state college educated or any of that stuff. But I would say that having a basic third grader's understanding of history and the fact that most people were nomadic for a long period of time. We would eat what we could find. We didn't plant things for most of our history as humans in the development of our brains. I would think that we needed to be flexible, to be fat, to live through wintertime, or being able to, gorge on fruit when we come across it in the wild just to survive. Now over the last few thousand years, we have come into a place where we have agriculture, we have productions of food, we know how to raise cattle, we have all of this. We actually raise cattle. We're not just chasing down herds of buffalo. I think we've lost sight of that metabolic flexibility. And I think even some of us living in ketosis, unless you are living in a ketogenic state for epilepsy, I think constant ketosis probably isn't necessary. But I don't think you should be, going crazy and going ham to be throwing sugar at your body either.
Yeah.
I think being able to be metabolically flexible, I think would be the absolute goal. Find your happy weight. Find your, we should always be trying to be stronger. We should always be trying to move ourselves forward. But I don't think we should be stressing about the scale. And I don't think at some point in time, our individual selves should have kind of dialed in how we're eating and figured that out. And then we just share that with the world. And I think that's kind of what we do to a certain degree, even though that I'm still not at my happy weight. But I figured that that's just going to be a long-term thing for me. But I just don't really think that constant ketosis is 100% necessary. And I don't think it's good for our bodies either. But you guys can weigh in on your thoughts of that if you have any opinion.
Well, I feel like you summed it up pretty well. And I will say, like, it's all about that and the feeling of, like you said, like how you feel and how Dr. Barry always says people come here for weight loss and stay because of something else. You feel better or this or this or this. But I know somebody who actually just started a couple months ago, decided they were going to give a keto lifestyle a try, and they literally will not. He said, I am not getting on the scale. Maybe once a month he will he's been doing this, I think, like 3 months. Once a month he's getting on the scale, but he can feel a difference in the way his clothes fit. He feels so much better how he's eating. And for me, like, just starting, that would be so hard mentally. That would be such a challenge to not get on that scale because my purpose of starting when we started was to lose weight, like, so of course it was like, I need to lose weight. Like, that's just the way it was. But
some people just don't care about weight.
Some people don't care about weight, and
it's just all how you feel.
Yeah. And he is like loving the way he feels. And
if we're out of
that's
ketosis,
all that matters to him.
And we're just eating, eating out, for, say you go on vacation. Okay. You just decided that you're going to be off keto on vacation 4, 5, 6 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
You will notice that you feel like garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, you're happy. You got your
But I feel like
Pie.
just constantly being in ketosis, that's going to be hard. And I feel like that can also play mind games with you if you're checking it to see if you are in constant ketosis. But I think if you're consistent in the way that you're eating and you feel better, I don't feel like it matters, honestly, for me.
And when you talk about being on vacation, so when we went to Disney in October,
Uh-huh.
I went in with the idea that I was going to eat the things that I wanted to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And I passed up lots of things that looked good because it wasn't what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of choosy with what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, did I have a couple of things here and there that I probably didn't care for? Yeah. But I mean, there was obviously things on my list that I wanted to have while I went to Disney.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's like an every 5-year type of thing, maybe 5 years, depending on how much money you have. I mean, some people can go every year. Some people can go like Matt and Sarah, they go every day.
Yeah.
But they work there. But
yeah.
you know, there was definitely some things that I needed to try that I wanted to have while we were there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we also stayed off property. We had a condo. We went to the grocery store and we bought keto stuff.
Yeah.
We just did. Now, we bought some stuff for the kids. We bought stuff to make sandwiches if they wanted to take sandwiches to the parks with them and stuff. But for Shander and I, for the most part, we still have this outlook of going on vacation, and we still just inherently gravitate towards more of the keto things, the keto lifestyle, because we understand that even though I want to try certain things, like I wanted to have school bread, I wanted to have, Dole Whip and things like that, things that are inherently Disney.
Right.
I didn't want to feel like trash doing my 25,000 steps each day.
Yes.
And I knew that I was going to be getting some steps in, so I figured that there was a buffer there. I was going to be getting more movement in than I normally do, probably in a day than I was doing most times in a week.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't too concerned about that. And I know there's the calories in, calories out thing, but I still think if you're used to doing maybe 5,000 steps a day and you are going up to 25,000 steps a day, your body's going, what the hell?
Yeah. I mean,
inflammation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I think I had a stress fracture in my foot before we left, but just all that movement, my body's like, ow.
Right. It's
so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's going to start. Somebody just said that for me, the weight loss was a bonus. I did keto because I was severely diabetic. And that's my, I wish I would have I wish I would have known. I can't even say that.
I'm going to stand up for a minute because my back's starting to hurt.
Okay. Even though we started keto for the weight loss, it was a weight loss thing. It's easy for me to say right now, I wish I would have known, eating this way, how much better you feel. Right?
Right.
But even if I had known, I don't know if that, I don't know, would that have gotten me to start keto? Just, hey, you can feel better if you eat better foods like this. I don't know. I was going to say, maybe I wish I would have, wanted to start this for the right reasons, but maybe I wouldn't have found this way of eating if it wasn't.
I think it takes that straw.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, it didn't matter how I felt because I was, my knees hurt, my knees bothered me. I was having allergy issues, heartburn issues, all these things that I was having for years and years, even to the point where, like I said, I couldn't use the bathroom in our downstairs.
Yeah.
That didn't get me to where I wanted to go. That didn't get me jump started into doing something for myself.
Right.
It literally took me stepping on a scale and seeing a number.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even make sense. That is the crazy thing about this, because you would think that me continuing to buy bigger clothes, me not being able to use a restroom in my own house, and pain, inflammation, heartburn, all these things that have plagued me for so long, that didn't encourage me to do something for myself. It took me stepping on a scale and seeing it over 400 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yes, I started for weight loss, but I quickly learned that I was going to be doing this long term because I didn't, the brain fog that I just didn't realize was brain fog.
Yep.
You would just feel like I was trying to get through the workday, walking through like a bog, like you're just walking through.
Yeah.
Oh, just trying to get through, and I'll get there.
Yeah.
It's like putting like an elliptical on the number 10, and you're just like, you just can't move. You can't
Can't
get
do it.
going.
Yeah.
And when that all starts to lift and your knees don't hurt, and you're not taking allergy medicine, and your heartburn finally goes away, and you don't feel like your insides are burning to death, and
Right.
and you can, after time, start using your downstairs bathroom again.
Yeah.
Those are things that are going to keep me doing this trendy new diet
Right.
for the long term.
Downstairs bathrooms are overrated. I'm just saying.
My downstairs bathroom is amazingly strategically placed because I can see the TV just fine.
I think Scott says we're on too long.
What?
I think Scott might be saying that we're on too long.
I love you, Scott.
Scott, this is the Keto Simple RSK movie. It's the movie.
The longest one of these I've done, though, was with Christy and Aaron. I think it was me, Christy, and Aaron at Christmas time, and we did 4 hours.
Yeah, well, we're not. We're not.
No.
Not today. Not today.
No, I have to go to the post office soon, but
and we got to go. All right, so here's the thing. I'm thinking about starting my own painting company, right? And for some reason, I want to go to the flea market today and I want to walk around the outsides because I'm looking to get like a good deal on a good professional sprayer. So that's my goal. That's what I want to do. And that involves, if I don't find anything, I will find exercise doing it.
It's just a way of getting out and moving for us, like something that's.
We're going to throw the ribs on the smoker and rock on,
Yeah.
5 hours.
I'm going to a show tonight, but I can't tell you the name of the band on air, so that's that.
Why?
No.
Not allowed to
What?
say the name?
It's not an appropriate name.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Well, you can see. Why is there no?
So they're a local band, I guess.
They're not.
No. Okay.
We love you, Scott. We're just joking.
I'm trying to figure out why there's no.
Scott, don't take me serious.
Never take him serious. Never.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll text it's anyway.
Yeah.
I
We get
wanna
what you're
say-
throwing down.
You know-
We're catching it.
You know what? It sounds like bad publicity to have that kind of a name that can't be talked about.
I mean, I don't care saying it out loud as long. I mean, but this is a family program.
You know, and you know what? The best movies are the rated G. I don't know why people don't realize that. Rated G movies do better than all the other movies put together.
Well, yeah, because people take their kids.
I
It
know.
doesn't make them better movies. They just more likely to take their kids.
Well, they make money. Yeah. So
But
anyway,
I want to say thank you to everybody who's a member of the
Yeah.
channel, people who like, share, subscribe. You two wonderfully beautiful people for being here with me today.
You're wonderful. I wasn't even invited. I just showed up.
There is no need to be invited.
I told her last night. I'm like, I'm gonna message Dustin and tell him that you're mad that you weren't invited.
I mean, you can come on next week, just you if you want to.
I'm just kidding. I knew I was gonna come join. I had things I had to do, and I think I over hard boiled the eggs. I ain't gonna lie.
Ugh. I like 6-minute eggs.
Well,
like
I
this-
put them in the Instant Pot, and then I went to go straighten my hair. So,
and all of these wonderful people. Now, I know we didn't just, touch on everybody here, but thank you to each and everyone who was in the chat, making it wonderful, asking wonderful questions, commenting on the discussion that we're having. It truly means the world to me. And I will be here 7:30 in the morning tomorrow by myself with all you wonderful people with more coffee, because I've been out for like an hour.
With more coffee.
yeah, my coffee's cold and Uncle Big Guy.
Party crasher. One of the best people to crash a party, if I have to say. But anyway, thank you all again so much for being here. Thank you to James and Emily. You guys are amazing. Stick around for after. We can talk backstage if you want. But I'm going to go ahead and we'll end this now. I love each and every one of you. I'm so looking forward to seeing all those who will show up tomorrow. The meetup that's in a week or the end of June, I'm hopefully going to go to that. I haven't made a full decision yet, but if you guys will be there, maybe I'll be there too. Maybe we'll make it fun. Anyway, we'll see you guys soon.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Love you.